Welcome to Champions for Life, the radio ministry of First Choice Pregnancy Services here in Las Vegas. I'm Deborah, the Executive Director of First Choice.
And I'm Ken.
And we are Champions for Life.
And welcome, folks, to Champions for Life. I'm your host, Ken Wilson. Just so delighted to be in the studio with you today. This is a special day because, first of all, it's our Father's Day show. And for all you fathers out there, happy Father's Day. In fact, before I even forget, I want to, and I'm not going to, but my father, I want to wish him the very best Father's Day week, kind of belated, but nevertheless, I believe he's listening out there in Florida. And Dad, happy Father's Day. And shout out to my sister, by the way, who I think is either in the process of moving to Florida or about to do so, or is already there. Lieutenant Colonel in the Marines. So a shout out to my baby sister, Ruth Kehoe, who's Lieutenant Colonel, going to serve out of Tampa, Florida, and hoping to see her this summer. So very excited, and we're coming up on the 4th of July. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be an awesome couple of weeks. And again, the beauty of this is today, I get to be in the studio with you today. A lot of times, here's what happens. A lot of times we do our show via podcast, and then we take that show and then we forward it to KKVV, and KKVV's blessed us with the ability to replay this broadcast throughout the week. But this week, as in times of old, we get to do the show live, and man, I'm just so excited. In fact, you know, one of the great things we can do, we can turn our telephone lines and make them open to our phone callers. If you're a father out there today and you're pro-life, you love the Lord, just want to give a shout out to your family, our telephone lines are open, 702-650-5588. That's 650-KKVV. If you'd like to call in and say, hey, you know what? God bless you. If you love the show, let us know. If you're a fan of First Choice Pregnancy Services, you can call us and let us know that as well. First Choice is a wonderful, fantastic, free women's clinic here in Las Vegas. In fact, I'm very fond of saying this. I'm very fond. For those of you out there in Facebook land and YouTube Rumble, soon to be Truth Social, by the way, and TikTok, we just want to say that we have been blessed with the great honor of being awarded by Focus on the Family as having the model crisis pregnancy center in the nation, right here in Las Vegas. Did you know that? Now, of course, if you've been listening to the broadcast, you know that, but it's an amazing thing to get to work and volunteer at First Choice. First of all, if you've never been to First Choice, you'll notice immediately, despite all the patients that are in the lobby when you walk in, so you have to be conscientious of that if you're going to take a tour or visit. But you'll notice that the spirit of it is just completely different. I liken it to a sanctuary, almost church-like, because even though there's no crosses or anything like that, it's actually a clinic. But it's just like the Spirit of the Lord is there. And there's charity and love and comfort and peace. There's peace at First Choice. Can't explain it. If you've walked into First Choice, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And for women who go to First Choice, right, for the most part, very many of them are abortion-minded, right? They're going in, they have a crisis that they're dealing with, and they need help. A lot of them don't even realize that this is not an abortion clinic, but it's actually a place where they will be loved and helped in every other way possible. Whether it's a material need, maybe you just need an ultrasound, free pregnancy test, whatever, counseling, someone to talk to, someone to explore all the options. That's what I love about First Choice. And listen, maybe that's you. Maybe you're a listener right now and you say, look, I'm pregnant, I got problems, my situation is not ideal at all. People are pressuring me to have an abortion. I really don't want, I've got these abortion pills. I don't know what to do with them, right? Give First Choice a call. Explore all of your options. Our telephone number, 702-294-CARE. That's 294-2273. Call, make your appointment. We'll see you right away. And find out all the information that's available to you, all the resources that are available to you. And that's why we do it. I'll tell you something. First of all, I'll tell you how busy we've been. This past month in May, right? Talking about clients, we don't charge our clients anything. Anybody that walks through our front doors, we don't charge them a penny for our clinic services, for any of the services that we provide, for the pregnancy test, the ultrasound, the counseling, seeing the nurse, doctor, nothing. Right? But last month we did 194, just shy of 200 free pregnancy tests. 200, right? We did 131 ultrasounds, right? And of the nearly 200 young ladies that had walked through our doors, get this, almost 3/4 of them, 149 of them, over 3/4, were either abortion-minded or they were what we call abortion vulnerable. In other words, maybe they came in thinking this was actually an abortion clinic. They want an abortion right now, right? And that's over 3/4 of our clients that we see every month, right? Last month we had a successful abortion pill reversal, which is an amazing, amazing thing. For those of you who are very aware, nowadays you don't even have to go see an abortionist. You can take an abortion pill right at home and abort your child at home. It's a tragic, tragic reality. But sometimes the young mothers who take this drug say, you know what? I made a mistake. Or perhaps someone gave this drug to them surreptitiously, or maybe they were forced to take it, right? And they want to reverse the damage that this pill is going to do to their child. They give us a call. We rush them to our doctor, and we begin the abortion pill reversal protocol. Since we've started this, I don't know, maybe at least a year now, I think we're somewhere 25, 30 young ladies who have children who are alive today, because we provide this emergency medical service free of charge. Isn't that amazing? I've got to meet some of these children. It's absolutely amazing. In fact, we're going to be getting to a story here later. If you don't get our newsletter, you should. First Choice Pregnancy Services has a beautiful newsletter that we try to put out every month, let you know what the month was like, the events that we have coming up, and some of the stories that really motivate the hearts of the people who support. Because look, a lot of times because we're a clinic, we deal with the Hippocratic Oath. So we cannot reveal like all the details of all of our patients unless afterwards the patient decides, well, you know what, this is great. We love you. We love First Choice. Go ahead and release this. But for the most part, we have to keep all of our information very, very private legally. Right? But every once in a while, we get these stories where the mom says, you know what, this is not only were you a blessing to us, but you were a blessing to others. Here, let me share our story. In fact, we got a couple of stories here today that we want to share with you about, just the miracles that have happened at First Choice. And so I just wanted to let you know that First Choice, we're very, very busy, but we're open to you to have a tour. You can call and set up a tour appointment, and you can do that anytime. Our telephone number at First Choice is 702-294-CARE, 294-2273, and say, hey, you know what? I'd love to take a tour of your facility. And in fact, if you would like to become a volunteer, look, our dream at First Choice is to open up another clinic here in town. That is our absolute prayer goal. We're focused on that. We're going to make that happen. In fact, we have events coming up so that we can introduce ourselves to medical professionals throughout our city, right? Other doctors, nurses, staff, administrators, what have you, so that when that day comes, we will have a plethora of people from whom we can employ and use to staff our next clinic. Maybe that's you. Maybe you're in the medical profession and you would like more information about First Choice. Maybe you're a doctor listening to this broadcast. In fact, one time we had a doctor listen to this broadcast, and actually ended up being our doctor at First Choice. It's absolutely amazing what God can do. So here's what we're going to be having on August 21st at 6 p.m., August 21st. We're going to have a Call to Care, Partners in Life, a medical professional gathering, and we're going to have it at First Choice. And it's going to be amazing for any of you that are in the medical profession or would like to tune your skills towards our ministry and our clinic. We urge you to come. There's no cost. We just want to say hello to you. And perhaps maybe you have a practice already and you would like to avail yourself of the services that we provide free. I went to my regular doctor, right, checkup, and he did not know about First Choice. And a new doctor, this guy had just had acquired as a doctor, and so I told him. And he says, wow. He says, I didn't even know anything like that. He says, you got to get me some business cards that I can hand out to my patients, right? There's a lot of doctors out there that don't know that First Choice exists. And a lot of practices are so bottlenecked with the services that they provide that they really can't focus in outreach or clinic care to women that are facing unplanned pregnancies. They just don't have the resources and time to do it. So we would love to meet you. If you're a doctor, have your own practice, we would love to introduce you to our ministry, meet our doctors, meet our staff and our nurses. Our nurses are beautiful. They're fantastic. And that's going to happen again August 21st, 6 p.m. at First Choice. First Choice is located at 860 East Sahara. Just next to Tower of Jewels. And come and visit us anytime. And if you want more information about that, of course, give us a call. Our number 702-294-CARE, 294-2273. Also want to mention that on the following week, on August 27th, and I know a lot of you folks are driving. Look, we have a website. All these dates are available. But for those of you who can write this down, August 27th, we're going to have a pastor's lunch. It's not lunch. It's like a breakfast lunch kind of deal. It's going to start at 9 a.m., and we're going to have a great speaker. Now, this speaker was a former abortionist. His name is Dr. Anthony Levantino. And just read you the bio real quick. Former abortion provider turned national pro-life advocate. Dr. Anthony Levantino is going to share his powerful story and challenge the Christian and community leaders to become more courageous champions for life. And it's going to be a complimentary breakfast. Going to give you all the resources to educate you, equip you, empower everybody to become active in some way. Because look, the last thing we need is for the pro-life movement, but specifically First Choice, to be the best kept secret in Las Vegas. There's over 2 million young ladies in our city that are going to need care, and many of them one day are going to become mothers. And sometimes the situation is not ideal. This is why First Choice exists. Just to tell you, one of the amazing stats that we have at First Choice since we've been open 20 years ago, wrap your head around this number. Since we've been open, there are almost 48,000 children that are alive today because First Choice exists. 48,000. What an amazing number that is. What an amazing ministry. And to be able to tell folks, listen, we don't charge our patients anything, not a dime. Isn't that amazing? And that's why I love doing this broadcast. I love, it's not very often that you can, promote a ministry that has such an impact on a particular community. And there are plenty of them. Don't get me wrong. There's one, our church has a food bank, and it's just amazing stuff. We have a senior center. It's absolutely unbelievable. 66 units that we built just for, there's amazing things that help our community. But when you're dealing with the issue of life or death concerning children, right? There's nothing more amazing to me than holding a child that is alive and giggling and bouncing around because First Choice was there. And the joy that's on the mother's face and the father's face, it's irreplaceable. That's why I love going to the galas. There's going to be a gala September 18th. It's going to be our Champions for Life gala. It's going to be awesome. A lot of times, a lot of these mothers and families bring their children. So, and that's, I got to be honest with you, it's my favorite part of the entire gala because I get to hold these babies. Right? And just, and the mothers and the couples, there's just so much joy. You can't, and for some of them, they realize, what it could have been tragic, a tragic outcome had First Choice not been there. But we were. and the miracle of life is there evident. Just amazing. So September 18th, it's going to be Champions for Life. The location, we don't know where it's going to be yet. To be determined. But mark that day. It's going to be September 18th, and it's going to be awesome. I can promise you that every single one of them is just fantastic. So I'll be looking forward to that. Next week, this is going to be so good. I've been wanting to have this lady on my show for so long. It's crazy. Known as Mrs. Pro-Life. I think she gets tired of being named. I don't know if she gets it. We'll have to ask her next week if she, Kathleen Miller is going to be on the broadcast next week. And we're going to be talking with her. Kathleen Miller, if you do not know who Kathleen Miller is, then you need to. She has been involved. I think she invented the pro-life movement in the state of Nevada. And the work that she has done through Living Grace Homes and Rachel's Vineyard has helped countless women, right? Women that, may have their baby. They want to have a place to have their child, right? And be in a safe place during their pregnancy. A lot of times women come through the doors of First Choice and they are in a situation where they can't stay where they are. Right? They can't live where they maybe there's a parent situation says, well, you can't stay here if you're going to have a baby, you get out, right? Where do they go? Well, they go to Living Grace Homes, Kathleen Miller, and she is about to have a grand opening. She already has 2 homes. These are beautiful, folks. These are beautiful homes, right? A 2-story, just beautiful that women can stay free, no charge. It's amazing what Kathleen has done. And now she's about to open a mega facility for these young ladies. I don't have all the details yet. She's told me a little bit about what's coming. I can't wait. Listen, next week, Kathleen Miller is going to be on this show. You're going to find out more about what Kathleen is doing, impacting the lives of young mothers who are in a terrible situation. They want to have their child, but they have no place to go to safely have their child. Oh, and I can't wait. Kathleen Miller is going to be next week right here on the Champions for Life broadcast. And so make sure that you tune in for that. And let's see, what else? Well, we have a lot of stuff in the news. First of all, I mentioned again, Happy Father's Day to everybody, for all you fathers out there. I'm blessed to be the father of 5 beautiful children. What a blessing, It's pretty amazing. For those of you who know me, I'm a little bit older. If you're watching on Facebook, no comments. But I'm a little bit older. But so I had my children kind of late in life, and but now they're growing into just beautiful people. 2 of them are in college, 2 of them are in high school, and another one in grade school. And one of them is going on to become a nurse. And she started to attend some of the meetings here at First Choice. One of the medical professional gathering meetings that we had not too long ago. Of course, like I said, we're having another one. And she brought friends, just young friends that she said, that perhaps would like to be a part of First Choice in some way. And already I'm so excited about what my daughter is, the future of my daughter in the medical profession and perhaps even at First Choice. And just so amazing. But it is such a great thing to be a father today. And listen, we need fathers. This is Father's Day. A lot of folks out there, their home situation maybe isn't ideal, right? And for those of you who are fathers and are making a difference, just a shout out to you. Very happy Father's Day week, and enjoy your family and your children. Cherish every moment, and I know I certainly do. I've got great kids. Watching them grow up right before my eyes, just an amazing thing. And so Father's Day, amazing time. Gosh, so much to talk about. I just yesterday, by the way, for those of you who aren't aware, marks the 4th year anniversary of the Dobbs decision, Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization. That was the case that overturned Roe versus Wade. And it's been 4 years now. The sad reality of it, instead of reading the entire report, the sad reality of this is even though numerous states have now have become largely pro-life, I think 13 states have pretty much banned abortion in their state, saying, you know what, we want all the citizens in our state, to remain alive and healthy. 13 have, 7 others have, gestational age limits if an abortion can be performed, and so. But you know what, that's less than half, and we really want to see a nation that welcomes children into the arms of families. And so, again, that was yesterday, marking the 4th year. But the sad reality is, today, as of today, more abortions are being performed in our country than ever before in history, even though Roe versus Wade has fallen. Isn't that sad? And that's largely due to the fact that of the availability of mifepristone, also known as the abortion pill. Mifepristone and Mifeprex, also known as Cytotec, which, in case you don't know, the abortion pill is a 2-part regimen. The first pill ends the life of the child. The second pill expels the child from the womb. And it's just tragic. And unfortunately, for so many women now who think that the abortion pill, they get told the lie, that's safer than Tylenol. There's not going to be any problems. Just go home, take this. There'll be a little cramping, a little discomfort. You'll be fine. The problem is a lot of these young mothers don't realize that they're going to be delivering a dead child at home. And they will see this child. And it's devastating. We've had, some young ladies who have gone through this and have shared their experience with us at First Choice, and who unfortunately now look upon their home not as a sanctuary, not as a place where, it's safe, but now they look at it in a whole different light. This was the place where I ended the life of my child, and it's tragic. It's tragic. It's tragic because we have answers. We have answers that can help these families. We have answers that can help these mothers and fathers who are so desperate. They're so desperate, and they think there's no answers, and they don't think that there's anyone that cares. Well, we're here to tell you, First Choice is a caring ministry that will help you 24/7. By the way, for those of you, for those of you who like to access things via the web, we have a website. Obviously, it's for those of you who are looking for our services. 877-558-0333. Sorry for the cutout right there. There's a little technical issue. But again, for our website is firstchoicelv.com. And for those looking for the abortion pill reversal, the protocol, which we have on our site, listen, if you have this drug and you've taken it, you want to give us a call immediately so that we can get you to our doctor as fast as possible. Because once you take the drug, the clock is ticking. And our number, 877-558-0333. Again, for the abortion pill reversal protocol. And again, free of charge, our number, 877-558-0333. Now, the wonderful thing about First Choice on our website, firstchoicelv.com, is you can get a nurse 24/7. Doesn't matter what time of the day or night that you call. You can get a hold of one of our nurses and receive care 24/7 via our website, firstchoicelv.com. Now, for those of you who are champions for life, we have a website specifically for you. For those of you who want to attend our events, want more information about being either a volunteer or staff, that website is fcpschampions.com. FCPS stands for First Choice Pregnancy Services, FCPSchampions.org. And on that site, we have all of our events. We have all of our podcasts and shows that we've done in the past with all of our great guests. And that'll give you all the information, contact information, that sort of thing. And you can get more information about that. All right, before we go on much further, I want to take a moment to acknowledge our sponsors. Our sponsors. Listen, we couldn't be on the air without our sponsors, and we love our sponsors, and we want you to love our sponsors as well. Now, look, if you need copies for anything, whether it's black and white, color copies, maybe you need business cards, resumes, maybe you need banners for your business, maybe you need signage in front of your store, right? RTS Postal Express is going to meet your needs. Doesn't matter what it is. And their telephone number, 702-489-4859. Again, 489-4859, RTS Postal Express. That's my man, Angelo. RTS stands for really terrific service. Angelo is going to find out what you need, going to meet all of your needs, affordable. He's going to beat everybody's price. He's going to beat everybody's price. I'm telling you, you say, no, there's no way he can. Very, very rarely is he not able to beat everyone's price. And they can do amazing things. Like, for example, they do coffee cups. You can have your business logo on your coffee cups, or you can put it on your shirt, or maybe you have images that you want on either your coffee cup or thermoses like this one, for those who are watching on Facebook or YouTube. And you can get all of it. You can get all that stuff right on your coffee cup, mug, thermoses, or on your shirt. Maybe you have your employee's name on their company shirt, whatever it is. Give RTS a call. And if you mention, by the way, very important, Champions for Life, you yourself will get 10% off your order. So make it a big one. Make it a big one. RTS Postal Express, one of the proud sponsors of the Champions for Life radio broadcast. And we love Angelo. Angelo and I have been in the pro-life ministry for so long. And he has just been a faithful brother all these years. He's got a wonderful business now and just doing fantastic. So just a great brother in Christ. All right, so I want to read you these testimonies. This is coming from the First Choice Pregnancy Services newsletter that goes out. So if you've already got it, then you probably already read this story. But it's just an amazing, amazing story about a mother and a daughter. Mother's name is Jessica, right? And I'm just going to read you this, and you're going to love it. This spring, First Choice Pregnancy Services was invited to speak at a local church youth group. And during the presentation, a woman stood up and shared a story that none of us at First Choice had ever heard before, right? And she was pointing to her daughter sitting right next to her. Her daughter is named Mia, right? Mia. And interesting thing, the pastor didn't know anything about this story either. Now, Jessica, the mom, very young, living in a foreign country, facing an unplanned pregnancy with, no support, no path forward, definitely in trouble, right? Big pregnancy, no one to help. And obviously felt homeless. She already had 2 teenage girls, both younger than 15. Correction, these two teenage girls, both younger than 15, noticed that she was crying in the neighborhood where Mia's father lived, right? And these girls had already experienced abortion themselves, and they figured they knew how to help. So they were going to take Jessica and say, hey, listen, you need to go to an abortion clinic, take care of that, and that's the problem will be problem solved. And so they brought Jessica to First Choice, thinking that this was the place where her problem would be fixed, right? Just end the baby's life, like it's bing, bang, boom, done, over with, and you don't have to worry about anything. And while Jessica was sitting inside First Choice, these 2 young ladies were waiting outside. These 2 teenagers, 15-year-old girls, younger than 15 and younger, waiting outside. And they had no idea what was going to happen next. The pressures that were pushing Jessica towards abortion were real and overwhelming, but guess what? Inside First Choice, she encountered something she hadn't anticipated. Compassion, truth, and a reason to hope. And then God intervened. And miraculously, Jessica said, you know what? I'm going to have this baby. I'm not going to end this baby's life via abortion. I'm going to have this child. And so that child was born, and the mother named her Mia, right? Now, Mia has known her entire life how close she came to losing her life at an abortion clinic because of the counseling, the advice from pro-abortion friends, like these two young girls. But rather than hiding that fact from her daughter, Jessica decided to use it as a testimony of God's faithfulness and redemption. Right? And so she shared this story, right, at this local church youth group meeting where our executive director, Jessica, was, and the congregation and everybody else. Nobody knew. Nobody knew anything about this. And then Jessica shared the meaning behind her daughter's name. She said she had named her Mia because in Spanish, Mia means mine. And in the midst of uncertainty, fear, and a pressure that came even from those who were supposedly trying to help, she looked at her baby girl and knew for one thing for sure, she was mine. And today, Mia, this is not the end of the story. Today, Mia is a thriving young woman who serves her church worship team, plays 4 musical instruments, and uses her gifts to glorify God. Isn't that amazing? How God has blessed the life of Mia because of the decision that Jessica made, because First Choice was there. Now, that's not the end of the story. The story comes full circle. Now Jessica volunteers faithfully each week at First Choice, right? So now she's a volunteer, helping other women just like her, serving the center that had once helped change the course of her life. And Mia, this is so good, Mia has joined the First Choice team, her very first job, creating media content to reach young people facing vulnerable pregnancy situations. And she's also going to help launch our new Ambassadors for Life initiative, equipping students to become courageous advocates for life in their schools, churches, and communities. Right? This young lady, Mia, now going to impact the youth because she's alive to do so. And what began with a frightened young woman walking through our doors, brought by 2 girls who thought they were helping, has become a testimony of God's grace spanning generations. A mother chose life, a daughter was given the opportunity to live, and that daughter is now helping others choose life. Isn't that amazing? Every time we say our name, we're reminded of a beautiful truth. Mia, mine, a daughter cherished by her mother and created with purpose by God. And oh man, isn't that awesome? Isn't that fantastic? Just, if we did that once a year to one family, it would be enough, right? If we did it to one family once a year, it would be worth everything. But we do this to thousands every year. Thousands. Isn't it amazing? 48,000 children are alive today. 48,000 birthdays, I like to say. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, if you have a story for life or you simply want to shout out for Father's Day, our telephone lines are open. 650-5588, 702-650-KKVV, and we'd love to talk to you. It's one of the few times that I'm getting to do this show live here at KKVV, and we love KKVV, by the way. The light of Las Vegas. And I remember years ago, I don't remember if anybody remembers. I used to do personally a program called Heartbeat Live, long time ago, back in 2000, I think. No, I think we started in 1999, actually. Ran for about 4 years. We're on every day. And it was such a blessing to be able to do that. And now that has been folded over into helping First Choice, letting everyone know about this wonderful ministry that's available to young ladies throughout our city and throughout other states and even other countries, like Jessica, right? Coming in from another country and ultimately saving her baby's life. Just amazing, amazing, amazing stories. And we also have some good news, by the way. For those of you who are aware of the problem with the abortion pill safety review by the Food and Drug Administration. Now, if you've been listening to this broadcast, you know that I was no fan of Dr. McCarty, who was Martin Makary, who was the former Food and Drug Administrator, because he kept saying, because everyone kept complaining about not only the deaths, but the 11% of every woman who take the abortion pill end up in emergency rooms. 11%. Right? End up in emergency rooms, right? And so every state has been complaining to the Food and Drug Administration, where's the safety review? How come you never did a safety review on mifepristone and Mifeprex? Why? Well, and then so the feedback coming back, we're installing new software and we don't know how to push buttons and we don't have the staff to conduct. Really? You're the Food and Drug Administration and you can't do your job? Well, he got fired. They got fired and he's been replaced. He's been replaced. And it looks as though the new Food and Drug Administrator is going to be producing his own risk evaluation and mitigation strategy for the abortion drug, and that it will be completed by September. So this is very, very good news. And the White House spokesman, Allison Schuster, confirmed the administration's commitment to the review. The Trump administration is pursuing a rigorous review of mifepristone in response to widespread safety concerns, adhering to the highest safety standards and scientific standards. This gold standard of science-based safety review, led by the FDA, which remains ongoing, is just one example of President Trump's total commitment to thoroughly evaluating blah, blah, blah. Okay, so good news. So for those of you who are very aware of the devastation that the abortion drug can produce, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually, the Food and Drug Administration hopefully is going to get this this review done by September. And hopefully we can reinstate at the very least, we can reinstate the in-person dispensing of this abortion drug. Because what's happened now is you can just order this drug by the mail. It arrives at your door, you take the abortion drug, and then you deliver a dead baby at home. And for a lot of states that have pro-life laws, they've been screaming. Louisiana, that's my home state, by the way, filed a lawsuit and saying, these drugs that are being sent through the mail without any in-doctor personal consultation is a violation of their own state laws. And states have had enough. They're saying this is not what we want. We're a pro-life state. These drugs are circumventing, our protections that we've placed in law. And so, for those of you who wondered how this happened, in 2021, the Biden administration removed the in-person dispensing requirement, allowing prescriptions through telehealth and shipment by mail. And the Trump administration has not removed, this requirement, this dispensing of the drug through the mail. And consequently, this has skyrocketed the number of babies that are being killed as abortion via abortion pills, because anybody can order the pill and anybody can use them. I've got a stack of cases where men have been criminally charged for giving this drug to their spouse, girlfriend, women, et cetera, and in some cases, they're doctors themselves. Incredible. One of the first stories we had was a doctor who had given it, who had an affair, and it's just, and now he's going to prison. Not only did he lose his medical license, he's going to go to jail forever, right? Because he forced this woman who absolutely wanted the child to take this drug, and it ended up terrible. And there's stacks of these cases, and it's just terrible. A study by the Ethics and Public Policy Center, based on an examination of more than 865,000 insurance claims for mifepristone patients. Yes, that's right. 865,000 insurance claims for the abortion drug found a serious adverse event rate. That means something very bad happened to the patient. At 11%. Trust me, the insurance companies, they're not gonna fudge their numbers. They're not happy about it either. 11%, far higher than the FDA's longstanding claim, than less than 0.5% based on so-called clinic trials. Right, and said that the rate of serious adverse events was significantly higher when the FDA's in-person dispensing requirement was not in effect. And indeed, the data indicates that a serious adverse event was from 1.5 to 2.3 times as likely with remote dispensing as with in-person dispensing. And it says, without an ultrasound or physical exam, women with ectopic pregnancies, now this is where it gets dangerous for the mother. If you're not familiar with ectopic pregnancy, see, guys don't know about this stuff, right? Unless you become informed or you're in the medical profession, you have no idea what an ectopic, or maybe your father and maybe you went through this with your wife, sadly. But an ectopic pregnancy is where the baby doesn't develop in the womb, it develops in the fallopian tube. And now a very, very serious condition can occur, a life-threatening condition for the mother. It's very serious. But if you take the abortion drug when you have an ectopic pregnancy, and there's no doctor to screen, to tell you don't take the abortion drug because you have an ectopic pregnancy, the woman takes the drug, she could be risking her life. It's incredible that this occurs. Without an ultrasound or physical exam, women with ectopic pregnancies may mistake symptoms such as pain, cramping, and bleeding for normal side effects of the abortion drug, potentially delaying emergency care. If such women take the abortion pill, they could die. And it's very sad. And the sad reality about this is that Planned Parenthood and all the other medical companies and the like Danco and the rest that are supplying this drug via mail to anyone who orders it, or Planned Parenthood who hands this out to teens and kids and anyone who asks for it, like candy, right? They don't care about any of this. They don't care that they're placing young ladies at risk. Don't care. In one case, Amber Thurman obtained abortion pills in North Carolina for a twin pregnancy. She had twins. 5 days later in Georgia, the remains of the unborn babies inside her caused a severe infection. So the abortion pill failed to do everything it was supposed to do. It ended the lives of the child, but unfortunately, she had the past children still within her womb. She received antibiotics and IV fluids in the emergency room, but a planned procedure to remove the remains was delayed, ultimately required a hysterectomy, and she died during the surgery. Right? An expert committee later determined that her death was preventable. Yeah, of course it was. Another case, 24-year-old Ilana Dixon, a mother of a 9-year-old, received mifepristone from Planned Parenthood. 4 days later, she sought emergency care for a sharp abdominal pain and bleeding. An ultrasound indicated retained embryo parts, but she received no pelvic exam or OBGYN consultation and was discharged. Her condition worsened the next day, transferred to another hospital, pronounced dead from complications from septic abortion. These are just two cases, two of the tragic consequences of the abortion drug, of just dispensing it like candy throughout the United States. Just two, and there should be none. These ladies were healthy. These mothers were healthy. And it's sad. So we're very glad to hear that the Food and Drug Administration now has someone in charge who is going to actually conduct and complete the review on the risks of mifepristone and Mifeprex, the two components of the abortion drug. Used to be called RU46 and Cytotec. And crazy thing about Cytotec was, I think it was a liver drug. It was not intended to cause, it was later discovered that one of its unintended consequences was that it causes contractions in women. And so ultimately, Cytotec, which the company that created it had no intention of being used for this, but it ended up being used as the second part of the abortion drug regimen, and now has been renamed Mifeprex. So you have mifepristone and Mifeprex, and it's very, very terrible. And we're hearing reports that sadly, sometimes the girls are just told to take one part of the drug and not the other. In this case, Mifeprex. The problem is you now give birth to a live child, right? And because they're so young, they will die from. And it's tragic, folks. Pray for our city. Which leads me to question 6. Now, those of you who know that on our ballot, we're going to have question 6. Question 6 is an incredible. It's already passed. It already passed the first election cycle. If it passes again in November here in the state of Nevada, abortion through all 9 months, no parental notification for minors from their parents. In other words, if you have a 13, 14-year-old, she gets pregnant by some guy, that guy can take her to an abortion clinic, get the abortion. Mom and dad, you won't know about it until it's all over, right? So that's gone if question 6 passes. The requirement for an abortion doctor to be involved is gone. All you need to do is be a healthcare professional. And a healthcare professional could be a veterinarian. It could be anything. The NRS lists everything that's entitled, from a tattoo artist to a podiatrist, just everything. And anything. School nurse, doesn't matter. All they need to be is a healthcare professional. And I think the reason they snuck this language in was so that anyone who's remotely attached to healthcare in any way can dispense the abortion pill without any ramifications. The other thing is this question 6 will remove all medical oversight from abortion clinics. It's like if you have if every other medical facility has medical oversight over them and malpractice insurance in case something goes, you can say goodbye to that if question 6 passes. Only abortion clinics, which is crazy. So question 6, folks, you got to vote no. You got to let everybody know that because if you read the ballot question, they always have a pro and a con. The pro, in other words, in favor of it, it's written by Planned Parenthood. They're going to say, well, this is a drug, it's for everybody, it's great. But for the con was supposed to be written from our side. But unfortunately, lawyers wrote it, and it doesn't talk about anything really that's in the bill and why it should be struck down. So unfortunately, when uneducated people go to vote, when you get your ballot question, in the next few months, and you're looking at question 6, and you're reading the reason to vote no on question 6, you're not going to hear any of this. The only way you'll know this is if you take the time to read the ballot question verbatim. Will you begin to understand the ramifications of it? And you got to read between the lines, because it's interesting what it doesn't say from our current law. Our current law already allows abortion through 6 months. In other words, if you're 6 months pregnant, you can go to an abortion clinic and abort your baby legally in the state of Nevada. 6 months. Babies have been alive, 4.5 months, right? Have been saved miraculously. All of my children, by the way, are preemies, right? But in the state of Nevada, 6 months, you can go to an abortion clinic, have an abortion, right? Well, the bill doesn't say, well, no, we're going to extend it from the second trimester all the way into the third trimester. It doesn't say it like that. What it does, it just simply removes it to viability and the doctor's discretion. Well, that's anything. That's anything in any time, right? And the changes from our NRS law, right, our Nevada revised statute of the law as it is, a lot of the wording, the 6-month viability limitation, it's rewritten. In other words, it's not there. Because it's not there, it's done away with. And that's what you have to understand. And the parental notification is gone. Parental notification is part of, was part of the law. In fact, a sad reality is, back in the 80s, we had gotten parental notification, and Planned Parenthood fought, and the courts ruled that parents should not be informed of pending abortion surgery for their minors. So the courts ruled in favor of Planned Parenthood. Isn't that crazy? And it stood that way forever until Dobbs fell. Once Dobbs fell, once again, we were able to reinstate parents' rights so that if you were a parent and your 13, 14, 15-year-old daughter got pregnant, you would at least have to be notified. You couldn't stop it. You couldn't stop the abortion surgery, but you had to legally be notified that the abortion surgery was coming. Well, guess what? Planned Parenthood sued, and they won again. So now, even though this law was part of our Nevada revised statute, it has been struck down. Thank you, Planned Parenthood. And the reason being that they want to do this is not just so that your daughter can surreptitiously have an abortion without you knowing about it, but I believe is so that they can continue to get human trafficked young ladies into our state, take care of the problem, ship them back to other states, get the business without all the ramifications. And it doesn't matter that these young ladies are minors. And that's the sad reality. I mean, otherwise, why would Planned Parenthood fight so tooth and nail and spend millions to fight to combat parental notification for minors who are obtaining abortion? Why would you do that? You got to follow the money. It's all about the money. It's very sad. So you need to be paying attention this November. Question 6, absolutely must vote no. In fact, when we have coming up the pastor's lunch with Dr. Anthony Levantino, he's going to be talking about question 6 because he was a former abortionist himself. Now he's a spokesman for life. And he's going to be talking about question 6. He's going to be going into the ramifications of this should our Constitution be changed. And understand, this isn't a law that's going to be passed in November. This is a ballot question to change the Nevada Constitution. And if it changes, you can forget about it. It's like writing against stone. You'll need another election cycle to two more election cycles to try and get this thing undone. So we will have this law for 4 years minimum, if not forever, till the Lord returns. So it must be voted down. So be looking for this question in your ballot and your sample ballot for this coming election in November. So, all right, in the time remaining, I want to take a moment to acknowledge one of the sponsors that make this portion possible, and that's Dr. Ray Kelly. Dr. Ray Kelly of Kelly Chiropractic. My man, Dr. Kelly. Listen, if you're living in pain, and it doesn't matter what your pain is, folks, it could be back, sciatica, it could be neck-related, doesn't matter. Maybe it could be allergy-related. It could be plantar fasciitis. My doctor, Dr. Ray Kelly, sponsored this program. He's also a pastor, is going to help you. My daughter had migraines, had no idea where it was coming from. He said, bring her in. Teenage daughter. And my daughter is an absolute fan of Dr. Ray Kelly. He can help you, accepts most forms of insurance, been serving the community for decades here in Las Vegas. Give him a call. His number, 702-870-9200. 870-9200. Dr. Ray Kelly of Kelly Chiropractic. And we love him. In fact, he's just written a book. We're going to be reviewing that book. Going to get him on the show, talk about his book that's coming up. And very pro-life, loves the broadcast. And we love Dr. Ray Kelly. Dr. Ray Kelly, Kelly Chiropractic, one of the proud sponsors of the Champions for Life radio broadcast. Well, folks, listen, we're coming up to the end of the broadcast. Again, I want to let you know that all the events that are coming up, everything is available on our website, fcpschampions.org. And one of the great things that's coming up, of course, is August 21st, is a Call to Care Partners in Life medical professional gathering. For all of you that are in the medical community, please get to know First Choice firsthand. First Choice Pregnancy Services we cannot allow it to be the best kept secret in Vegas or in our state. Help us get our second clinic open. Again, it's going to be August 21st, 6 p.m. at our clinic address, 860 East Sahara. 860 East Sahara on August 21st, 6 p.m. There's no charge. No charge. And August 27th is going to be with Dr. Anthony Levantino, former abortionist, OBGYN, now fighting for life. It's going to be at our pastor's brunch at Centro Cristiano Pentecostal de Las Vegas. RSVP is going to be 9 a.m., August 27th. If you'd like more information about either one of these, need to RSVP for both, give us a call. Our number, 702-294-CARE. That's 294-2273. And if you don't remember anything else, remember this. The Lord loves you. He loves you and has a wonderful plan for you, your baby, your family, and for your life. Give him your heart today. All right? See you next week. God bless you.
Thanks for joining us for the Champions for Life radio broadcast, the outreach ministry of First Choice Pregnancy Services.
Join us every Thursday at 12:30 on KKVV 1060 AM.
If you or someone you know need help with your pregnancy, or if you wish to visit or support our clinic and radio ministry, please call 702-294-CARE. That's 702-294-2273.
Or visit us at fcpschampions.org. That's fcpschampions.org.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. The Father's Open Arms was written and read by Tom Felton.